I've earned 30 plus certifications, and I'm here to guide you to success on your exam. Welcome to the Ultimate DAC-01 Exam Masterclass. Are you ready to crack the DAC-01 exam in one go? You're in the right place. In this session, we'll arm you with powerful insights and hand-picked questions that can make all the difference in your exam performance. We've scanned the web using intelligent crawlers to gather the most critical and high-impact questions, all compiled into one powerful PDF resource. You can download it from the link in the description. Not only will we explore these must-practice questions, but we'll also share real exam experiences and pro tips to give you that competitive edge. Let's dive into the key questions that could shape your success. Question 1. A data engineer is configuring an AWS Glue job to read data from an Amazon S3 bucket. The data engineer has set up the necessary AWS Glue connection details and an associated IAM role. However, when the data engineer attempts to run the AWS Glue job, the data engineer receives an error message that indicates that there are problems with the Amazon S3 VPC gateway endpoint. The data engineer must resolve the error and connect the AWS Glue job to the S3 bucket. A. Update the AWS Glue security group to allow inbound traffic from the Amazon S3 VPC gateway endpoint. B. Configure an S3 bucket policy to explicitly grant the AWS Glue job permissions to access the S3 bucket. C. Review the AWS Glue job code to ensure that the AWS Glue connection details include a fully qualified domain name. D. Verify that the VPC's route table includes inbound and outbound routes for the Amazon S3 VPC gateway endpoint. Correct answer D. Verify that the VPC's route table includes inbound and outbound routes for the Amazon S3 VPC gateway endpoint. Explanation. The error occurs because the S3 VPC gateway endpoint is not properly routed in the VPC. Verifying and updating the route table ensures Glue jobs can access S3. Question 2. A media company wants to improve a system that recommends media content to customers based on user behavior and preferences. To improve the recommendation system, the company needs to incorporate insights from third-party datasets into the company's existing analytics platform. The company wants to minimize the effort and time required to incorporate third-party datasets. Which solution will meet these requirements with the least operational overhead? A. Use API calls to access and integrate third-party datasets from AWS Data Exchange. B. Use API calls to access and integrate third-party datasets from AWS DataSync. C. Use Amazon Kinesis data streams to access and integrate third-party datasets from AWS Code Commit repositories. D. Use Amazon Kinesis data streams to access and integrate third-party datasets from Amazon Elastic Container Registry, Amazon ECR. Correct answer A. Use API calls to access and integrate third-party datasets from AWS Data Exchange. Explanation. AWS Data Exchange provides direct access to third-party datasets through APIs. This minimizes integration effort and reduces operational overhead. Question 3. A financial company wants to implement a data mesh. The data mesh must support centralized data governance, data analysis, and data access control. The company has decided to use AWS Glue for data catalogs and extract, transform, and load (ETL) operations. Which combination of AWS services will implement a data mesh? Choose 2. A. Use Amazon Aurora for data storage. Use an Amazon Redshift provisioned cluster for data analysis. B. Use Amazon S3 for data storage. Use Amazon Athena for data analysis. C. Use AWS Glue Databrew for centralized data governance and access control. D. Use Amazon RDS for data storage. Use Amazon EMR for data analysis. E. Use AWS Lake Formation for centralized data governance and access control. Correct answer B and E. Use Amazon S3 for data storage. Use Amazon Athena for data analysis. Use AWS Lake Formation for centralized data governance and access control. Explanation: Amazon S3 with Athena provides scalable storage and query capabilities. Lake Formation ensures centralized data governance and fine-grained access control. Question 4. A data engineer maintains custom Python scripts that perform a data formatting process that many AWS Lambda functions use. When the data engineer needs to modify the Python scripts, the data engineer must manually update all the Lambda functions. The data engineer requires a less manual way to update the Lambda functions. Which solution will meet this requirement? A. Store a pointer to the custom Python scripts in the execution context object in a shared Amazon S3 bucket. B. Package the custom Python scripts into Lambda layers. Apply the Lambda layers to the Lambda functions. C. Store a pointer to the custom Python scripts in environment variables in a shared Amazon S3 bucket. D. Assign the same alias to each Lambda function. Call each Lambda function by specifying the function's alias. Correct answer B. Package the custom Python scripts into Lambda layers. Apply the Lambda layers to the Lambda functions. Explanation: Lambda layers allow reusable code sharing across multiple functions. Updating the layer automatically applies changes to all attached Lambda functions. Question 5. A company created an extract, transform, and load (ETL) data pipeline in AWS Glue. A data engineer must crawl a table that is in Microsoft SQL Server. The data engineer needs to extract, transform, and load the output of the crawl to an Amazon S3 bucket. The data engineer also must orchestrate the data pipeline. Which AWS service or feature will meet these requirements most cost-effectively? A. AWS Step Functions. B. AWS Glue Workflows. C. AWS Glue Studio. D. Amazon Managed Workflows for Apache Airflow, Amazon MWA. Correct answer B. AWS Glue Workflows. Explanation: AWS Glue Workflows provide built-in orchestration for ETL jobs. This reduces the need for external workflow tools and lowers costs. Question 6. A financial services company stores financial data in Amazon Redshift. A data engineer wants to run real-time queries on the financial data to support a web-based trading application. The data engineer wants to run the queries from within the trading application. Which solution will meet these requirements with the least operational overhead? A. Establish WebSocket connections to Amazon Redshift. B. Use the Amazon Redshift Data API. C. Set up Java Database Connectivity (JDBC) connections to Amazon Redshift. D. Store frequently accessed data in Amazon S3. Use Amazon S3 Select to run the queries. Correct answer B. Use the Amazon Redshift Data API. Explanation: The Redshift Data API allows secure, serverless query execution without managing connections. It provides the lowest operational overhead for app integration. Question 7. A data engineer needs to schedule a workflow that runs a set of AWS Glue jobs every day. The data engineer does not require the Glue jobs to run or finish at a specific time. Which solution will run the Glue jobs in the most cost-effective way? A. Choose the Flex Execution class in the Glue job properties. B. Use the Spot instance type in Glue job properties. C. Choose the Standard Execution class in the Glue job properties. D. Choose the latest version in the Glue version field in the Glue job properties. Correct answer A. Choose the Flex Execution class in the Glue job properties. Explanation: Flex Execution class lowers costs by running jobs when capacity is available. It is ideal for non-time-sensitive Glue workloads. Question 8. A data engineer needs Amazon Athena queries to finish faster. The data engineer notices that all the files the Athena queries use are currently stored in uncompressed .csv format. The data engineer also notices that users perform most queries by selecting a specific column. Which solution will most speed up the Athena query performance? A. Change the data format from .csv to JSON format. Apply snappy compression. B. Compress the .csv files by using snappy compression. C. Change the data format from .csv to Apache Parquet. Apply snappy compression. D. Compress the .csv files by using gzip compression. Correct answer, C. Change the data format from .csv to Apache Parquet. Apply snappy compression. Explanation. Parquet is a columnar format that reduces I/O and speeds up queries. Snappy compression optimizes both performance and storage. Question 9. A company loads transaction data for each day into Amazon Redshift tables at the end of each day. The company wants to have the ability to track which tables have been loaded and which tables still need to be loaded. A data engineer wants to store the load statuses of Redshift tables in an Amazon DynamoDB table. The data engineer creates an AWS Lambda function to publish the details of the load statuses to DynamoDB. How should the data engineer invoke the Lambda function to write load statuses to the DynamoDB table? A. Use a second Lambda function to invoke the first Lambda function based on Amazon CloudWatch events. B. Use the Amazon Redshift Data API to publish an event to Amazon EventBridge. Configure an EventBridge rule to invoke the Lambda function. C. Use the Amazon Redshift Data API to publish a message to an Amazon SimpleQueue service, Amazon SQS queue. Configure the SQS queue to invoke the Lambda function. D. Use a second Lambda function to invoke the first Lambda function based on AWS CloudTrail events. Correct answer B. Use the Amazon Redshift Data API to publish an event to Amazon EventBridge. Configure an EventBridge rule to invoke the Lambda function. Explanation. Redshift Data API can publish events to EventBridge. EventBridge rules invoke Lambda functions to update DynamoDB automatically. Question 10. A data engineer needs to securely transfer 5 terabytes of data from an on-premises data center to an Amazon S3 bucket. Approximately 5% of the data changes every day. Updates to the data need to be regularly proliferated to the S3 bucket. The data includes files that are in multiple formats. The data engineer needs to automate the transfer process and must schedule the process to run periodically. Which AWS service should the data engineer use to transfer the data in the most operationally efficient way? A. AWS DataSync. B. AWS Glue. C. AWS Direct Connect. D. Amazon S3 Transfer Acceleration. Correct answer A. AWS DataSync. Explanation. AWS DataSync automates secure, scheduled, and incremental data transfers. It is purpose-built for syncing large datasets to S3. Question 11. A company uses an on-premises Microsoft SQL Server database to store financial transaction data. The company migrates the transaction data from the on-premises database to AWS at the end of each month. The company has noticed that the cost to migrate data from the on-premises database to an Amazon RDS for SQL Server database has increased recently. The company requires a cost-effective solution to migrate the data to AWS. The solution must cause minimal downtime for the applications that access the database. Which AWS service should the company use to meet these requirements? A. AWS Lambda. B. AWS Database Migration Service, AWS DMS. C. AWS Direct Connect. D. AWS DataSync. Correct answer B. AWS Database Migration Service, AWS DMS. Explanation. AWS DMS supports low-cost, minimal downtime database migration. It is optimized for moving SQL Server data to RDS efficiently. Question 12. A data engineer is building a data pipeline on AWS by using AWS Glue extract, transform, and load (ETL) jobs. The data engineer needs to process data from Amazon RDS and MongoDB, perform transformations, and load the transformed data into Amazon Redshift for analytics. The data updates must occur every hour. Which combination of tasks will meet these requirements with the least operational overhead? Choose 2. A. Configure AWS Glue triggers to run the ETL jobs every hour. B. Use AWS Glue Data Brew to clean and prepare the data for analytics. C. Use AWS Lambda functions to schedule and run the ETL jobs every hour. D. Use AWS Glue connections to establish connectivity between the data sources and Amazon Redshift. E. Use the Redshift Data API to load transformed data into Amazon Redshift. Correct answer A and D. Configure AWS Glue triggers to run the ETL jobs every hour. Use AWS Glue connections to establish connectivity between the data sources and Amazon Redshift. Explanation. Glue triggers automate hourly job execution. Glue connections simplify secure connectivity to RDS, MongoDB, and Redshift without custom code. Question 13. A company uses an Amazon Redshift cluster that runs on RA3 nodes. The company wants to scale read and write capacity to meet demand. A data engineer needs to identify a solution that will turn on concurrency scaling. Which solution will meet this requirement? A. Turn on concurrency scaling in workload management, WLM, for Redshift serverless workgroups. B. Turn on concurrency scaling at the workload management, WLM, queue level in the Redshift cluster. C. Turn on concurrency scaling in the settings during the creation of any new Redshift cluster. D. Turn on concurrency scaling for the daily usage quota for the Redshift cluster. Correct answer B. Turn on concurrency scaling at the workload management, WLM, queue level in the Redshift cluster. Explanation. Concurrency scaling is enabled at the WLM queue level in provisioned Redshift clusters. This ensures automatic scaling of queries. Question 14. A company is migrating on-premises workloads to AWS. The company wants to reduce overall operational overhead. The company also wants to explore serverless options. The company's current workloads use Apache Pig, Apache Uzi, Apache Spark, Apache HBase, and Apache Flink. The on-premises workloads process petabytes of data in seconds. The company must maintain similar or better performance after the migration to AWS. Which extract, transform, and load ETL service will meet these requirements? A. AWS Glue. B. Amazon EMR. C. AWS Lambda. D. Amazon Redshift. Correct answer B. Amazon EMR. Explanation. Amazon EMR supports large-scale distributed processing using Spark, HBase, and Flink. It is ideal for petabyte-scale workloads. Question 15. A company maintains multiple extract, transform, and load ETL workflows that ingest data from the company's operational databases into an Amazon S3-based data lake. The ETL workflows use AWS Glue and Amazon EMR to process data. The company wants to improve the existing architecture to provide automated orchestration and to require minimal manual effort. Which solution will meet these requirements with the least operational overhead? A. AWS Glue workflows. B. AWS Step Functions tasks. C. AWS Lambda functions. D. Amazon Managed Workflows for Apache Airflow, Amazon MWA workflows. Correct answer B. AWS Step Functions tasks. Explanation. AWS Step Functions provide reliable orchestration across Glue and EMR jobs. It minimizes manual intervention with low overhead. Question 16. A data engineer needs to join data from multiple sources to perform a one-time analysis job. The data is stored in Amazon DynamoDB, Amazon RDS, Amazon Redshift, and Amazon S3. Which solution will meet this requirement most cost-effectively? A. Use an Amazon EMR provisioned cluster to read from all sources. Use Apache Spark to join the data and perform the analysis. B. Copy the data from DynamoDB, Amazon RDS, and Amazon Redshift into Amazon S3. Run Amazon Athena queries directly on the S3 files. C. Use Amazon Athena Federated Query to join the data from all data sources. D. Use Redshift Spectrum to query data from DynamoDB, Amazon RDS, and Amazon S3 directly from Redshift. Correct answer, C. Use Amazon Athena Federated Query to join the data from all data sources. Explanation. Athena Federated Query allows querying multiple data sources without data movement. It is cost-effective for one-time analysis. Question 17. A company is planning to use a provisioned Amazon EMR cluster that runs Apache Spark jobs to perform big data analysis. The company requires high reliability. A big data team must follow best practices for running cost-optimized and long-running workloads on Amazon EMR. The team must find a solution that will maintain the company's current level of performance. Which combination of resources will meet these requirements most cost-effectively? Choose 2. A. Use Hadoop Distributed File System, HDFS, as a persistent data store. B. Use Amazon S3 as a persistent data store. C. Use x86-based instances for core nodes and task nodes. D. Use Graviton instances for core nodes and task nodes. E. Use Spot instances for all primary nodes. Correct answer, B and D. Use Amazon S3 as a persistent data store. Use Graviton instances for core nodes and task nodes. Explanation. S3 provides durable, cost-effective storage for EMR workloads. Graviton instances reduce costs while maintaining high performance. Question 18. A data engineer needs to use AWS step functions to design an orchestration workflow. The workflow must parallel process a large collection of data files and apply a specific transformation to each file. Which step function state should the data engineer use to meet these requirements? A. Parallel state. B. Choice state. C. Map state. D. Wait state. Correct answer, C. Map state. Explanation. Map state is designed to iterate over and process multiple items. It enables parallel transformation of large file sets efficiently. Question 19. A company is building an analytics solution. The solution uses Amazon S3 for data lake storage and Amazon Redshift for a data warehouse. The company wants to use Amazon Redshift Spectrum to query the data that is in Amazon S3. Which actions will provide the fastest queries? Choose 2. A. Use gzip compression to compress individual files to sizes that are between 1 GB and 5 GB. B. Use a columnar storage file format. C. Partition the data based on the most common query predicates. D. Split the data into files that are less than 10 kilobytes. E. Use file formats that are not splittable. Correct answer, B and C. Use a columnar storage file format. Partition the data based on the most common query predicates. Explanation. Columnar formats like Parquet reduce scan time. Partitioning data improves query efficiency by reading only relevant subsets. Question 20. A company has a front-end React.js website that uses Amazon API Gateway to invoke REST APIs. The APIs perform the functionality of the website. A data engineer needs to write a Python script that can be occasionally invoked through API Gateway. The code must return results to API Gateway. Which solution will meet these requirements with the least operational overhead? A. Deploy a custom Python script on an Amazon Elastic Container Service Amazon ECS cluster. B. Create an AWS Lambda Python function with provisioned concurrency. C. Deploy a custom Python script that can integrate with API Gateway on Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service Amazon EKS. D. Create an AWS Lambda function. Ensure that the function is warm by scheduling an Amazon EventBridge rule to invoke the Lambda function every 5 minutes by using mock events. Correct answer B. Create an AWS Lambda Python function with provisioned concurrency. Explanation. Lambda with provisioned concurrency ensures availability and fast execution. It integrates natively with API Gateway for minimal overhead. Question 21. A company is planning to upgrade its Amazon Elastic Block Store, Amazon EBS, general purpose SSD storage from GP2 to GP3. The company wants to prevent any interruptions in its Amazon EC2 instances that will cause data loss during the migration to the upgraded storage. Which solution will meet these requirements with the least operational overhead? A. Create snapshots of the GP2 volumes. Create new GP3 volumes from the snapshots. Attach the new GP3 volumes to the EC2 instances. B. Create new GP3 volumes. Gradually transfer the data to the new GP3 volumes. When the transfer is complete, mount the new GP3 volumes to the EC2 instances to replace the GP2 volumes. C. Change the volume type of the existing GP2 volumes to GP3. Enter new values for volume size, IPS, and throughput. D. Use AWS DataSync to create new GP3 volumes. Transfer the data from the original GP2 volumes to the new GP3 volumes. Correct answer, C. Change the volume type of the existing GP2 volumes to GP3. Enter new values for volume size, IPS, and throughput. Explanation. AWS allows seamless modification of EBS volume type from GP2 to GP3. This avoids downtime and minimizes operational overhead. Question 22. A data engineering team is using an Amazon Redshift data warehouse for operational reporting. The team wants to prevent performance issues that might result from long-running queries. A data engineer must choose a system table in Amazon Redshift to record anomalies when a query optimizer identifies conditions that might indicate performance issues. Which table views should the data engineer use to meet this requirement? A. STL_usage_control. B. STL_alert_event_log. C. STL_query_metrics. D. STL_plan_info. Correct answer B. STL_alert_event_log. Explanation. STL_alert_event_log records optimizer warnings and performance alerts. It helps detect queries that may cause issues. Question 23. A company uses Amazon Athena to run SQL queries for extract, transform, and load (ETL) tasks by using create table as select CTS. The company must use Apache Spark instead of SQL to generate analytics. Which solution will give the company the ability to use Spark to access Athena? A. Athena Query Settings. B. Athena Workgroup. C. Athena Data Source. D. Athena Query Editor. Correct answer B. Athena Workgroup. Explanation. Athena Workgroups enable integration with Spark through AWS EMR or Glue. This allows analytics beyond standard SQL queries. Question 24. A company needs to partition the Amazon S3 storage that the company uses for a data lake. The partitioning will use a path of the S3 object keys in the following format: S3 //bucket/prefix/year equals 2023/month equals 01/day equals 01. A data engineer must ensure that the AWS Glue data catalog synchronizes with the S3 storage when the company adds new partitions to the bucket. Which solution will meet these requirements with the least latency? A. Schedule an AWS Glue crawler to run every morning. B. Manually run the AWS Glue Create Partition API twice each day. C. Use code that writes data to Amazon S3 to invoke the Boto3 AWS Glue Create_Partition API call. D. Run the MSCK repair table command from the AWS Glue console. Correct answer, C. Use code that writes data to Amazon S3 to invoke the Boto3 AWS Glue Create_Partition API call. Explanation. Invoking the Glue Create_Partition API on data write ensures immediate synchronization. This reduces latency compared to periodic crawlers. Question 25. A media company uses software as a service (SaaS) applications to gather data by using third-party tools. The company needs to store the data in an Amazon S3 bucket. The company will use Amazon Redshift to perform analytics based on the data. Which AWS service or feature will meet these requirements with the least operational overhead? A. Amazon Managed Streaming for Apache Kafka, Amazon MSK. B. Amazon AppFlow. C. AWS Glue Data Catalog. D. Amazon Kinesis. Correct answer B. Amazon AppFlow. Explanation. AppFlow provides a fully managed way to transfer SaaS data into S3. It integrates directly with Redshift for analytics with minimal effort. Question 26. A data engineer has a one-time task to read data from objects that are in Apache Parquet format in an Amazon S3 bucket. The data engineer needs to query only one column of the data. Which solution will meet these requirements with the least operational overhead? A. Configure an AWS Lambda function to load data from the S3 bucket into a Pandas data frame. Write a SQL select statement on the data frame to query the required column. B. Use S3 select to write a SQL select statement to retrieve the required column from the S3 objects. C. Prepare an AWS Glue Data Brew project to consume the S3 objects and to query the required column. D. Run an AWS Glue crawler on the S3 objects. Use a SQL select statement in Amazon Athena to query the required column. Correct answer B. Use S3 select to write a SQL select statement to retrieve the required column from the S3 objects. Explanation. S3 select supports direct queries on object content. It allows retrieving only specific columns from Parquet with minimal setup. Question 27. A company uses Amazon Redshift for its data warehouse. The company must automate refresh schedules for Amazon Redshift materialized views. Which solution will meet this requirement with the least effort? A. Use Apache Airflow to refresh the materialized views. B. Use an AWS Lambda user-defined function, UDF, within Amazon Redshift to refresh the materialized views. C. Use the Query Editor v2 in Amazon Redshift to refresh the materialized views. D. Use an AWS Glue workflow to refresh the materialized views. Correct answer, C. Use the Query Editor v2 in Amazon Redshift to refresh the materialized views. Explanation. Query Editor v2 supports automatic scheduling of queries. It is the simplest way to refresh Redshift materialized views. Question 28. A data engineer needs to maintain a central metadata repository that users access through Amazon EMR and Amazon Athena queries. The repository needs to provide the schema and properties of many tables. Some of the metadata is stored in Apache Hive. The data engineer needs to import the metadata from Hive into the central metadata repository. Which solution will meet these requirements with the least development effort? A. Use Amazon EMR and Apache Ranger. B. Use a Hive metastore on an EMR cluster. C. Use the AWS Glue Data Catalog. D. Use a metastore on an Amazon RDS for MySQL DB instance. Correct answer, C. Use the AWS Glue Data Catalog. Explanation: Glue Data Catalog is a fully managed metadata repository. It can import Hive metadata directly with minimal setup. Question 29. A media company uses software as a service (SaaS) applications to gather data by using third-party tools. The company needs to store the data in an Amazon S3 bucket. The company will use Amazon Redshift to perform analytics based on the data. Which AWS service or feature will meet these requirements with the least operational overhead? A. Amazon Managed Streaming for Apache Kafka, Amazon MSK. B. Amazon AppFlow. C. AWS Glue Data Catalog. D. Amazon Kinesis. Correct answer B. Amazon AppFlow. Explanation: AppFlow is designed for SaaS data ingestion. It automates secure transfers from third-party apps to S3 and integrates with Redshift. Question 30. A data engineer maintains custom Python scripts that perform a data formatting process that many AWS Lambda functions use. When the data engineer needs to modify the Python scripts, the data engineer must manually update all the Lambda functions. The data engineer requires a less manual way to update the Lambda functions. Which solution will meet this requirement? A. Store a pointer to the custom Python scripts in the execution context object in a shared Amazon S3 bucket. B. Package the custom Python scripts into Lambda layers. Apply the Lambda layers to the Lambda functions. C. Store a pointer to the custom Python scripts in environment variables in a shared Amazon S3 bucket. D. Assign the same alias to each Lambda function. Call each Lambda function by specifying the function's alias. Correct answer B. Package the custom Python scripts into Lambda layers. Apply the Lambda layers to the Lambda functions. Explanation: Lambda layers centralize shared code across functions. Updating the layer automatically applies the new code to all attached Lambdas. Please revise full PDF 2 to 3 times for 100% success. Check the description for the PDF download link and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for upcoming episodes. Thank you.